Hello, hello. We're having a major snow event today and tomorrow, and I think the day after that. And I got a couple problems with this guy. One, I got a soft tire, which isn't that big of a deal. I'll just reinflate it. I fixed it twice. It leaks with a tube, it leaks without a tube, so I don't know. I'm worried there's something wrong with the rim or the tire. Anyway, once I fill it, it's good for 2 weeks. But I'd like to get tire chains on the back here. That's something I haven't had yet. This tractor does pretty good on its own, but I do get stuck once in a while, and I've got tire chains right over here ready to go, so I got to try to install these. They did not work on the drag radials. They kicked me off the track. I don't know what their problem was, but I think they'll do a lot better on the tractor. And well, let's see how much snow we got so far. So we're supposed to get like up to 12 inches of snow, and it's been snowing for about 12, oh boy, about 12 hours. Oh, there's rabbit tracks. Rabbit's been out here. So it's drifted up to the door pretty deep. Let's see where we're at so far. There's 7 inches right there at the door. I don't think it's that deep out in the driveway, but it's coming down pretty good. I think maybe if I plow it over and over, I'll be able to keep up with it. It's about 6 a.m. here, and it's supposed to snow all day, and then I think it's supposed to stop for a while maybe, and then pick up again tonight. So, oh boy. Oh, and the good news is it's supposed to get to blowing and drifting. So I'm going to get started on this tractor. Well, first things first, let's get this guy reinflated. I'm going to put about 14 pounds in both sides, both front tires. Okay, I got my chains here for this side. What I understand is we let air out of the tire, drape the chains around it, lock them in place, and then reinflate the tire so the chains are tight. I've got it jacked up so I can just kind of spin this wheel and get the thing on there. Make some weird noises. Hopefully that's not a problem. Try to get both sides even. These legs here, try to get them even on each side. Okay, I got the chains draped over fairly well, and I noticed there's about an equal distance between all these sections of chain, but when I get to the point where they couple, I've got a huge distance. So I think what I'll try to do is bring these together so that they're about the same as all these other lengths. First, I gotta let the air out. Okay, got the air out of the tire. And I think what I'll do, or what I have done, is I'm gonna bring the joint down to the bottom so that that takes up the slack and I can easily bring everything together here. I was gonna try it up at the top, but I can't pull everything together very easily, so I'll put the joint down at the bottom. Let's see where that gets me. It's not looking too bad. I can zip tie this slack up out of the way. Now I got to get the other side. Okay, I'm not having a very good time with this. I think I got to do the inside first and then the outside. I've got this where I want it, but now it's so tight I can't buckle the other side. So I'm just gonna take this loose and then start on the inside. I think I can pull them together now to where I want them. Oh yeah, that worked quite a bit better. I think I can get it tighter. so close. So that's where I want it. That's where I want it, right there. There we go. Oh yeah, that's good and snug. Turn that in. Okay, so I want to make sure I got equal amounts of chain showing on both sides. I'm gonna go through and attempt that. It just kind of doesn't look centered. All right, let's try to air it up and see what happens. Not actually convinced that's any tighter. I might not have enough air in it though. I've got 10 pounds in it. I think 8 is recommended, 8 to 10. Inflate to 10 PSI max, so I'm at max pressure. I wonder if I need to try to bring it in another link. I don't know how tight they're actually supposed to be. Maybe you don't want them too tight. You want them to move around a little bit. I don't think they're going to come off. Once the tractor's down on them, it might be okay. You know, I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to do the same thing the other side and see what happens. If it doesn't work, I'll just try to tighten them up. I think I got room to do it. I think I might be able to get in there. It's almost like one link is too much, and the way it is too little. I need a half a link. Oh well, we'll give it a shot. Go ahead and zip tie this guy up out of the way. All right, now I'll get to the other side. Okay, fast forward a couple hours and I've got a problem. So I went to the left side of the tractor to install the chain and I noticed one of the rungs was twisted, and the instant I tried to correct it, I made the problem exponentially worse. So after about an hour's worth of frustration, I'm making my way across this chain to try to correct it. Now the mistake I was making was I was starting with the center rungs, I'll just call them rungs, and trying to untwist them and work out, and that just made it worse and worse and worse. So what I found was this end here was pretty good. I'm starting rung by rung with good ones, and as soon as I find one that's kind of twisted, I try to correct it by pulling it through like that, or the other way, and just going slowly rung by rung, and I'm getting there. So what you got to do if you got to untwist your chains, so what I did is I start at like the top. I laid it on the table so it's easy to work with, and you know the links start out horizontal, vertical, horizontal, and on like that. So you just go through link by link and make sure everything's all sorted, and then make sure your rungs are connected the same way, each corresponding link. And now I'm getting to a point here where they're not like that, so I have to try to correct it by pulling the rung up and then taking everything downstream of that up and out through the rung, and it's a bit of a challenge. And I've made the mistake a couple times by grabbing a corner and pulling it through. Well, then that sends a twist down to one side. So it's a challenge. So if you're in a position where your chain is twisted, you just have to take a very slow, methodical approach to correct the matter. And as you work your way down, it might make it worse and worse as you go down, but again, you're going to correct it as you go downstream here. And I also figured, well, I could maybe pry these apart, just take the thing apart and then put it back together, and that might be easy, but these are pretty hard. If I have to try to do that, I'll find a way, and I'd much rather do that with 2 or 3 rungs versus, 6. So that's what I'm up against right now. And the snow is still coming down outside. And gosh, I think we probably got 8 inches out there. Now I did shovel a little bit of it, and the good news is it's light and fluffy, which this plow loves. It loves the light, fluffy stuff. And hopefully with the chains and a little bit of weight in the back, I can get through it. Okay, keep working my way this way. It's pretty much down to these 3 rungs right here. So I've just gone, made sure, I keep going through pair by pair, making sure everything's straight and it's congruent from side to side across these rungs. And then when I get to the first rung that's bad, I try to just kind of study it, pull the leg of the chain tight and see what it wants to do. And then what I'm finding I'm having to do with my situation is I gotta reach up under the rung and pull the excess out. And I'm slowly getting there. And as I expected, it kind of gets worse and worse as you go down here. But it's working its way out, and I'm making what could be considered progress. Okay, almost there. One thing I did, developed another strategy, and that was to pin the links in a certain spot so that I didn't have all this stuff that was all good. I didn't take the risk of messing it up. So I used a couple coax, like nail-in coax connectors here, staples, coax staples, and I pinned the chain in place near the, I guess, cluster, and then worked from there. So in just a couple minutes, I unraveled 2 more rungs, and I'm almost there. I think these are wrapped up maybe 1 time, and then I think I'll get it. So I'm going to go through this leg, and I'm going to make sure everything's good all the way down to about here, and then I'll pin these, and then I'll keep working. It's actually getting easier. It did get balled up pretty bad. I had to go through it a couple times, right around here in this area. And once I did that, I got this. So it's looking a lot better. Now I know what to do here. So if you're watching this and you've got tangled chains, hopefully this helps. Okay, success. It's all done. So what's the lesson? The lesson is if it's good, don't touch it. That's the lesson. Make sure you store it either hanging up just like this, or what I did is I wrapped them around my tires back there, and that worked pretty well. So yeah, if they're tangled up, the best strategy seems to be start with a good end. If you've got an end that's good. I only had, I think, 3, maybe 4 rungs that were good here, and the rest were twisted. And basically, I just lined them up, made sure they were good, and worked rung by rung from good to bad, and just kind of worked my way down. And then another thing that helped a lot is I went ahead and pinned the good areas down with these coax cable clips so that the area that I already done and corrected didn't get messed up. And just slowly, methodically go on down. Make sure it's the legs you want to straighten out. Don't worry too much about what these are doing. Get the legs straight. And then as you go down, you'll pull the legs straight, and then you'll see which rung is twisted, and then you can correct it one way or the other with that. I don't know if you can get more twist on one side than the other. I'm not actually sure. As I went through, I found it was equal on both sides. And I guess also if you gotta pull this end through a rung, make sure you have them together and pull them through together. That way you don't add another twist. So yeah, that's about it. Once I got going and got my my process down, I probably got 15-20 minutes into this, and it was pretty bad. It was really bad. I mean, far worse than any set of Christmas lights I've ever dealt with. So if you got twisted chains, try this method, and best of luck. Okay, after all that dilemma, I've got the left-hand side chains on, and after messing with it for a while, I learned quite a bit. So I let all the air out of the tire, and it sat so long the tire actually did shrink. It shrank enough that I could get all the slack taken up out of the chains. So it fits pretty good, and when I inflate it, hopefully it'll draw this down nice and tight. I also laid the rungs so that the links, the back sides of the links are against the tire. And that way we don't have a sharp edge pressing against the sidewall of the tire. So I like the way that fits. It looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. The right-hand side is reversed of this, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that and do the same strategy on that side. Hopefully I don't have any twisted links in it, but if I do, I know how to fix it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and put some air in it. Okay, I got 10 pounds in it. It's still kind of loose. I don't know how tight it's actually supposed to be. I don't think it's going to come off, and I don't think it's going to slip. Once the tire's down on the ground, maybe it'll bulge out and help tighten this up a little bit. So I'm going to zip tie these out of the way, and then fix the other side, and then I'm going to try to move some snow. Whew, got it done. They're not super tight, but they're not super loose either. Maybe you want them to move around so that they grip. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That was a lot bigger chore than it was supposed to be. I thought 15 minutes I'd be done, and it turned into hours. So I don't have weights on the back, but I do have this bucket. And sometimes I put stuff in there to add a little bit of weight. I mean, any little bit helps. So yeah, I think we'll get to it here. Of course, by now, it's hours later. By now the snow is like, I don't know, it's like 10 inches deep out there. Pretty bad. And the kids came out here first and made a mess, so I get that to clean up. Oh good, there's a Tonka truck out there. Even the Tonka truck couldn't make it through this. Stuff's deep and it's cold. better than it was. I really got to say, the chains made a huge difference. I don't think I could have done any of this without the chains. I attempted to go down the sidewalks, but it's just too much for this little tractor. It needs a snowblower today. And I can hear snowblowers out in the neighborhoods, out working. People are trying to keep ahead of it. The thing is, I think we've got several inches. It's white and fluffy, and my understanding is that we are halfway there, because there's more of this tonight and into tomorrow. It's going to be rough. But I would say chains really helped out. This thing has saved me a lot of work. I still had to do quite a bit of shoveling, but yeah, overall pretty happy with it. Really wishing I had a snowblower right now, but you know, we get snow like this about once every 10 years. We had snow like this, I believe, on February 2nd, 2011. We had, I think, 14 inches, maybe more, 14 to 16 inches. And I think we're kind of heading that direction this time. Well, that's about it for me. Till next time, have a good one. Thanks for watching.